Welcome back to Tank Mastery New World, where I, Ty James, your resident shield-slinging thunder... I don't even know what that was. Anyways, what we're going to do is we basically go through a full dungeon and show you exactly how to do the pulls, things like that. It's going to be unedited, uncut, just raw gameplay of us tanking a dungeon. So today we're doing the Lazarus Instrumentality. So we're just going to walk you through step by step. I didn't even bother swapping out my gems or anything because I just did a hive run and I'm still set for nature. And this is only an M1, so I'm not really too worried about, taking too much damage here. So what we're doing, we're going to gather all these mobs and we're going to bring them up here to this point in which, over and over again, once these runes are activated, these guys are going to keep on spawning. So once we get the aggro, we're going to switch to our sword and shield for leadership, which is going to give our team a 10% in power. And we're just going to hold our aggro here. I'm going to save my taunt for when the next set of minions spawn. So I have a couple different taunts. I've got my Roaring Rupture from my greatsword, and I have Defender's Resolve on my sword and shield. So once these runes start to activate, then guys are going to spawn. So we're going to save our taunt. And I'm going to pull these guys over here because some more are going to spawn nearby. And another cool trick if you have Crescent's Wave is you can actually have your Crescent's Wave out when you need to pull aggro, say across the room, and just use your heavy attacks to get that aggro from like those guys. Alright, so I'm going to pull them here, and I like to stay nearby so that as they come out, I can grab them. So that way they're here, and I can pick up this aggro and switch back to my sword and shield. Hold the aggro here. So, like that guy, he said to from the spawn point, but they don't just spawn there, they spawn here. So this is why I stand kind of in between, because you'll notice some DPSs have no idea what they're talking about. They'll just be like, oh, stand near the spawn point, tank. It's like, yeah, no shit, I'm standing in between them both. So once you finish those mobs, this door's going to open up. And then we're going to go ahead and run down this way. Looks like one of our teammates pulled some of the aggro, which is fine. And then we're going to cut across. And we're going to pick up Dolos here. And I'm going to bring him over to this archer. Alright. So that we can AoE the archer down and the taskmaster all together. And then I'm going to see if I can range that guy over there and grab him as well. So we can start on him as we're burning all these guys down. Don't forget our trash loot here. There we go. And then I'm going to grab this guy. I'm going to grab these guys. And this guy, I'm going to bring him here to this archer. So that we line of sight. And we can AoE all these melee guys down inside this room. Let's go ahead and pick up this defender here. Get his aggro, get him off our healer. See how that healer is bringing the aggro to me? That's what you want to do. If you are ever a healer or a DPS and you end up pulling aggro, just walk that aggro over to your tank. So because this is an M1, you're going to have a lot of DPS like going ahead of you, or like the healers moving ahead of you. M2s and above, if they're starting to do a lot of damage, generally your DPS is not going to do that because they don't want to get smacked. And then just absolutely destroyed. So somebody's going to go talk to the snake. Then we're going to bring these guys back up here to this archer. Grab this Avenger and bring them right here. And we're going to tank right at this respawn point. I'm going to get another taunt just in case I lost any aggro. And then switch back to my sword and shield. And I'm going to hold all these guys here and make sure I have the aggro on this Accolon. Or Alcyon, whatever his name is. So this is a Hellfire dungeon. Let me pick up the aggro on that archer in case I lost it. And I'm going to re-taunt here with this spawn. But main thing, if you burn this guy down, those minions are gonna perish anyhow. So now we're going to move up here, go through the door, and we're going to grab this aggro, and we're going to bring it to this archer over here. And hopefully these guys don't attack and wait for me to pull the aggro so that I can hold them all here and line of sight those archers. And then once I've got these guys, I'm going to rotate off and I'm going to hit this guy over here. So this way we can burn them down. I've got the rest of those adds aggroed on me, and we can hold them all. Let me get a retaunt on that Weaver. Got him. And then we all got to wash our hands right here. Come over here, wash your hands. And then we're going to go back to that little snake person that was at the bottom of those other stairs. And it'll be the first little mini boss. So run all the way in here. One thing I appreciate with you guys watching the videos is any feedback. I just want people to understand the whole purpose of these specific videos is just to give you the idea where to pull. I don't really go over like your best in slot gear or options or which weapons you should be using sets, like if it's sword, shield, hammer, or spear, or greatsword for tanking. Really, I mean, there's different ways to skin a cat. Some people would say, oh, always have sword and shield for leadership, or I always use hammer for rend, or different things like flail for weakening and stuff like that. I generally will bring a variety of weapons, so I have like different sets that are set up for hammer, some that are set up for sword and shield, some are set up for sword, shield, and flail and shield, some greatsword. So mainly the purpose of this video is just to show you kind of where to position the boss to help your team be a little bit more successful. Alright, so this one's a very simple fight. She's going to put these circles down that are going to do massive damage and can knock you off. So you want to get to a spot where there is no circle on the ground. And then it's just like a quick turn and burn. I keep my sword and shield out pretty much the whole time if I'm running SNS, because I do run leadership SNS. So like I said, that's just to empower my team by an extra 10%. Once you kill her, you're going to teleport by selecting that little rune. And then we're going to take all the mobs up to the top. So some people will split these up. You don't have to split. We're actually just going to run all the way up to the top. And once all these buttons are activated, then mobs are going to spawn right here. And we're going to burn these mobs. And then they're going to keep on spawning. And then you'll see mobs have spawned in there. And they're kind of locked behind the gate. So we're just going to burn all these down. And then once we get past that minute 45 that's left on the timer, then our door is going to open. This door is going to open as well, so I'm going to pick up this aggro here. So any mobs that happen to come over here while we're waiting, we're going to burn and we're going to taunt. But otherwise, we just wait for the timer and this door opens and we can skip the rest of those mobs. So sometimes people will have like split up. They'll have like somebody up here, two people in, that middle room, one in the bottom room. And it's kind of, pointless. I mean, you could literally just sit up here and just wait for the timer, and once the timer's up, the door opens and you don't have to fight those other mobs. So, little secret. So we're just going to chill while we're waiting for this timer. That is a perfect time for you to hit that like button. I had to throw it out there. If you're getting any value out of this tanking content in this series of tanking for New World, I appreciate the likes. Sub if you can. Both things are free. All it takes is a quick second. So if you can, that'd be great. If you don't want to, it's okay. I see how it is. You know, it's fine. I just put my character's body through punishment as being a tank and being a meathead. And I can't even get a simple like. Alright, enough of that. See, I wanted to time that a little better. I still have 10 seconds left, so I think I'm going to like fake cry again for another like 6 seconds, 5 seconds, 4. And then say, okay, that's enough of that. Let's get back into it. So we're going to jam over here to the right, and we are going to grab these guys and these guys, and I'm going to bring him over to this archer. All right, so that somebody can start on the door, and we can burn these guys down. Let me pick up that guy crawling over there. Get over here, big dog. And this guy crawling. That's what's nice about having the Crescent's Wave, is I can stay in put and I can still pull the aggro. So in case you didn't know, if you have a Carnelian in your weapon, heavy attacks draw aggro. So that's why I keep that Crescent's Wave on me, so that I can pull that aggro as need be, right? All right, so we're going to cut in here. This guy's in the way, so I'm just going to grab him. And I have keen speed on my sword, so that when I get a crit, I can run past all these dudes super quick. Smack him. Smack him. Poke him. Poked him in the butt. So that gave me keen speed, so I can move a little faster. These guys are running ahead of me, so they're going to pull aggro. So good luck, guys. I'm going to pull this guy. Let me get the aggro, because the healer did hit a heal, and I'm going to pull him. And I'm going to taunt this guy. And I'm going to hold all the aggro right here. So that we can AoE all these little guys down. Those guys are taking a little longer. I'm going to go ahead and grab an extra taunt on those guys. See how it just shows a taunt above their head? That's the beauty of Crescent's Wave, is I can re-pick up aggro from range if need be without moving my position. So it's quite nice of an item to use for tanking sometimes. Some people like Serenity. I do like Serenity tanking. Like if I'm tanking Echidna and Hive of Gorgons, Serenity would be probably a better option than Crescent's Wave, because sometimes Crescent's Wave aggro's the tail of the boss, sometimes it doesn't. I've seen it happen both ways, where I've been using Crescent's Wave and it does not aggro the boss tail, where he whips around, and then sometimes it does. So rather be safe than sorry and not use Crescent's Wave on Echidna, but you could use it for, like, you know, Typhon, or I mean, you could use it for Medusa, but I think there's better options. But yeah, but it's really good for when you're trying to pull these trash mobs without getting yourself out of position. And Greatsword is just a fun weapon. I really love the Greatsword. But like I said, everybody's going to have their own opinion on, you know, what's the best gear to tank with. And, you know, especially like when you get into higher level content, you have a lot of people gatekeeping content, like, oh, link your gear, and, oh, I don't take anybody that uses this specific gear, this specific thing. And it's like, okay, like as long as a guy knows how to tank and knows what he's doing and is running enough constitution, has enough defenses, but mainly knows what he's doing, then there's no issue to not allow them to tank. Whoever has the heart can put that in there would be great. Okay. So this right here is Chardis. He's this big ancient statue, big guy. He disconnects his hands. He throws them all over. He puts these orbs down. And then he starts laser eyeing, Cyclops eyeing people on the team. So if you stay by that barrier there and you destroy it, I'm going to keep taunting here. So I'm really tanky, and I have enough lifesteal where it's not really going to do a whole lot to me. I'm just going to keep on rending while my team sets up. So if you can see what they're doing, they're getting those barriers down. And then when he spawns these little things, once he starts like the eye laser, you can get behind those barriers and it would protect you from taking damage. I'm going to go ahead and re-taunt right now. He's going to do a sweep, but if you're this close to him, it won't even break your stamina on your shield. Rend. I'm just going to keep rending with my third light attack and my heavy attacks because I have Trenchant Rend. So it's best to be up close and personal on this guy. I'm going to re-taunt again, just so I get that extra healing and defenses from the perks of my Defender's Resolve. So now he's lasering somebody, or he's lasering an area. He's going to start lasering somebody with his eyes. Oh, me. So I'm going to take it over here. And that's going to basically drop him. And you can rend and keep rending so that your team does even more damage. This is just a damage phase, and we should get him by the time he gets back up because we have quite a bit of damage on this team. Boom. That's it. And that is how you do Lazarus Instrumentality. That took us all of 16 minutes. So we weren't exactly doing like a speed run, but obviously it still goes pretty quick. This is a pickup group. Like I said, do not get intimidated by tanking. Tanking is actually really fun. It's really easy once you know the mechanics, where to sit people, where to face the mobs, where to face the boss, how to go about pulls, things like that. So if you want to know other dungeons, I am going to be posting pretty much every dungeon that comes up, whether it's mutated or even non-mutated dungeons. I can post those here soon. I'm going to be posting a worm run as a tank. I already posted the Hive of Gorgons as a tank. I think I've already posted Glacial Tarn, Tempest, and there's a lot more to come. So follow the series, New World Tank Mastery, and I appreciate you guys watching. Like I said, if you got any value out of this video, hit that subscribe button for more content and hit that like button. It really helps us counter the algorithm and get us in front of more people that are getting fresh, new to New World, that want to know how to tank. And get these guides into their face, right? So appreciate you guys, and I'll see you guys on the next tanking video.